Hello everyone, this is Cloudglidder here.
And this is Maradon.
And today we'll be walking you through the Polysseum tournament highlights. Diving right into it here, we have a match between Mixu and Kraken7 with regular Hoodrick being on the offense. Here, regular Hoodrick sets up a siege and picks off all of Dark Hoodrick's units within range to prevent him from unsieging. We actually see that Dark Hoodrick now only has one archer in and won't be able to unsiege his city.
And now Dark Hoodrick of course is in trouble because he can attack with one archer, but he won't be able to attack with the second one, right? Here, he finds a nice tactic. He gets in place this veteran archer in his capital and then performs a nice giant push to get this archer in range for it to unsiege his siege city and successfully break it.
Next, we have a match with Mixu against Magus Fabius, and we can see that regular Hoodrick here is in a difficult spot. They don't have math yet, while their opponent has already gotten math and border growth to set up for a giant. However, we see that regular Hoodrick here has saved up a whole 28 stars. Surely they'll go for a giant here, right?
Well, actually they don't. They research 3 techs this turn, including diplomacy, and they chop forest aggressively to get a nice cloak here in their capital. Mind that their opponent actually has no vision at all on this capital and trains units and progresses actively trying to play aggressive. But here, his units come in and free the way for the cloak. It hits the city, spawns 4 daggers, and turns the tide on the game.
Here we have a match between PewQx and Magus Fabius, with Dark Hoodrick having 4 cities against regular Hoodrick's 2. In this situation, Dark Hoodrick will be able to build up to a better eco and train more units every turn. If only there was something that could kill multiple units at once. Oh wait, there is! Here, regular Hoodrick sees a perfect opportunity for a Night Chain and takes it immediately, being able to break through to Dark Hoodrick's backline and turning the tides of the game.
We can see a similar thing with knights in a matchup between Joyful Sausage and Senior Avanzo. Normal Hoodrick can actually see the knight here, so they try to spread out their units while attacking in order to make a Night Chain impossible. However, they miss a possible one, which we can see later, and Light Hoodrick makes use of that and kills a lot of units in the process, and making use of roads, he even gets this knight back to a major city, after which normal Hoodrick simply resigns because there's just no way for him to win this game. Here we have an intense match between 2 upper round players. They are currently keeping the game equal, but several key villages among the front lines haven't been touched so far. Here, Green actually managed to sneak one of his giants into the central village, and it looks like Brown Hoodrick is going to lose to the fact Green is taking such a powerful spot with that giant here. Green could go on to capture this city, upgrade it, and get an explorer that reveals the last hidden cities of Brown, which are currently hidden for him, potentially winning the game like this. So, what does Brown do? Well, he can't kill the giant, but he can make the village basically worthless by stealing nearly all tiles from it. He invests most of his economy that turn into upgrading this eastern city here and picking border growth. Thus, the village only has a single tile remaining and won't be upgraded so easily. Green actually knows that and doesn't capture the village. It even remains untouched up until the last moments of the match, but it's too late for him to turn the tide and win, and he resigns 3 turns later.
In our next match here, we have regular Hoodrick against Green Hoodrick, and we see that both sides are playing very carefully here. They both have giants and catapults, but are spaced a little bit too far apart to really be threatening each other. What both players are trying to do here is to get knights and tear through their opponent's backline before moving their units forward. Here we see that regular Hoodrick is trying to position his units carefully, but misses just one crucial Night Chain. Green Hoodrick here takes advantage of that and absolutely tears through his army. Although it doesn't end up being enough to turn the tides of the game, it was a valiant effort from Green Hoodrick to try and fight back against his opponents and prolong the game for a few more turns.
We see an incredible tactical play in this matchup between Brown and Red. Red has invested a lot into archers and catapults, whereas Brown is going for the classic Rider Road strategy. He performs a masterful move here. He first proceeds to siege 2 edge cities of Red with minor units such as knights and warriors, despite knowing these sieges, the one on the left is also arriving right now, definitely will be broken next turn. He then proceeds to move his other units forward as well, and this is a key moment. After having moved all his units, he upgrades this city, gets resources, and he trains riders right here. Did you see it? Here are riders now. Now, red, of course, as we can see, does a great job on sieging, even killing one of brown's giants. However, his attention has been redirected to the sides, and brown now can come crushing through the center and attack a lot of these catapults. He even builds more roads to do this. Now red's catapults are severely damaged by the riders, and brown goes on to win this game.
Next up, we have a match between red Hoodrick and regular Hoodrick that really highlights the importance of training warriors alongside your archers. Here we have red Hoodrick pushing his giant forward aggressively, only to have regular Hoodrick absolutely shredded apart with his archers. Now normally, you would move your giant back to keep it alive, right? However, red Hoodrick continues moving forward, and because regular Hoodrick doesn't have warriors to protect his archers, red Hoodrick can hide behind his giant and slowly take them out. Within a few turns, we see that the situation has completely turned. Through a combination of riders, warriors, and archers, paired with an aggressive giant push, red Hoodrick successfully tears apart regular Hoodrick's archer line and renders his cities defenseless. Here we have a match exhibiting the versatility of riders. We see white Hoodrick here trains a bunch of warriors and archers in order to defend and also attack at the same time. On the other hand, regular Hoodrick here goes for riders and roads in order to be able to play aggressively and expand at the same time. We see that regular Hoodrick has the option to expand through this rider movement right here, while also playing aggressively and picking off white Hoodrick's units one at a time, really showing off the versatility of riders in an early game setting. Lastly, we have an intense match that lasted well over 40 turns between regular Hoodrick and red Hoodrick. Here we see that both players have trained up an absolute battalion of defenders in order to try to deter the opponent from pushing forward. However, regular Hoodrick here has a few catapults lined up with knights ready to chain through. He goes ahead and takes this opportunity to chain through a good amount of defenders at once. However, red Hoodrick doesn't take the blow lying down and immediately retaliates with two smaller chains of his own. There's chain 1, and here's the second chain to take care of one of the catapults. However, we see that both players continue to struggle to break through as the match progresses. There's just too many defenders clogging up too much movement. Although sometimes they do get some sieges in, it's impossible for those sieges to hold when the opponent has so many knights and catapults just in the backline ready to unsiege or to attack at any time. What this match really shows is the strength of defenders in blocking knights and keeping your units safe.
Another risky play can be seen in the monthly finale. In this situation, brown Hoodrick researches mathematics in turn 8, allowing him to make use of all these nice bits of forest around his cities. However, instead of going for a quick giant making use of population growth, he actually decides to increase his territory size because he had calculated his stars would be exactly enough to get a giant like that as well. How does he do it? Well, he has to chop a lot of the forest surrounding his capital, but he leaves the lumber spots adjacent to this sawmill free in order to get that nice multiplication bonus. He then proceeds to perform yet another giant push one turn later in order to secure a space advantage and reveal his opponent's capital, on which he will later perform a crushing attack. Let's see this. Nice giant push right there. There's the capital, and here's your space.
That's all for this month's Polysseum highlights. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again in next month's video.